This is gonna sound kind of stupid obvious, but one of the roles of your hip flexor is to flex the hip. Now, given the world that we live in where we sit in chairs a lot or people sit in cars a lot, the hip flexor is one of those muscles that doesn't get a whole lot of attention and it tends to be really tight. And when you have tight or weak hip flexors, it makes squatting really difficult and it can also lead to back pain. Now, I know a lot of people like to use like the so right or like kettlebell. We used to do that back in the day where you would smash your belly with a kettlebell. And that's fine because it releases the muscle, but it doesn't actually do anything to strengthen the muscle, which is the real problem. When a muscle is weak, it's going to be short. Or for example, I can make a really strong bicep here, but if I straighten my arm, it's hard to get that same contraction on the bicep. The same thing is true with my glutes. I can squeeze my butt cheeks together when I'm standing tall, but as soon as I flex at the hip, the glute gets longer and it's hard to find that same contraction. So try squeezing your butt cheeks here and then bending over and try to squeeze your butt cheeks there. You don't get as much contraction with the glutes when the glute is long. The same thing is true with the psoas. It's a hip flexor and it's special because it connects on the top of your body and also on the lower half of your body. It's the one muscle that does that I know of. Now, if the psoas is weak, you're gonna oftentimes get people who squat with their chest like this because their hip flexor isn't strong enough to make a connection with the hip open. So one of the exercises I like to give to people to strengthen the psoas is a psoas raise. And there's a lot of ways you can do this. One of the easiest ways to do it is with a kettlebell. You just stick your foot in the handle thing and you lift up to work on getting your hip flexor to work. But here's another thing you can do. If you don't have kettlebells, you can also do this on the rig by setting it up on the lower J cup. But I've got 2 dumbbells here with a band. I'm gonna stick my feet in here. I'm gonna put this band behind me so you can see what's happening. This other ring is going to be here for support, and I'm going to try to lift my knee up past my hip. Now this is kind of tight, so I'm going to let go of one of them, and I'm going to bring the knee up high. I'm going to hold it here for like a minute if I can. And the goal is to not so much get the outside of my hip here, but if I get rectus femoris across the front, and ideally psoas, which is kind of inside the hip bone here, and attaches into the front of your spine behind your diaphragm, that's really where I want to feel it. So I'm gonna do a leg raise here. I'm gonna hold it for about a minute and I'm gonna breathe. And then I can add some motion. I can go down, really small range of motion for now, because likely if you go all the way down, you're gonna come off connection and you're not gonna get a lot of activation of the psoas because it's letting go and connecting, letting go. So think like a bodybuilder and just stay on tension. So long time under tension, small range of motion to start. And as you get better, you can try to go lower and lower, and hopefully the psoas will stay connected. And as it gets less shy, I like to say, you're gonna get more range of motion. So again, one of the reasons why you get people who are really parallel in their, or chest parallel to the ground in the squat is their psoas is so weak, it can't stabilize unless it's really, really short. It's another reason why you get people who collapse in their front squats. Their obliques and all the other muscles in the front are weak, so they have to crunch down to find tension, okay? So try this for about 18 to 24 reps just on one side and then do a squat and see how it feels. You should notice something really interesting, and if you do this every single day to make you better at squatting. If you have any questions, post them in the comments, and we'll see you guys next time.